Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching the breakfast show, and the 24th round of the COMESA is being held now in Nairobi, Kenya. And to shed more light on this topic, we are delighted to have with us over the phone Professor Dr. Youmn Hamaki. She is Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us today on ITV International.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Dr. Youmn, would you please tell us more about the agenda of the COMESA this year and the latest developments on the ground concerning this issue?
COMESA is a free trade area containing 21 countries, African countries, and Egypt is included, sadly Ethiopia and other African countries. They are doing very well regarding free trade and the impact of free trade loss. The intra-trade among them has increased substantially during the last 2 decades. And nowadays, the most important challenge and opportunity for COMESA is that the African countries are about to form a free trade area containing all African countries. Why? Because we used to have in the African continent different free trade area like COMESA, like SADC, like other free trade areas, and it proved to be, according to our studies as economists, that there is a conflict. It was a conflict among these free trade areas. Some countries are in one free trade area and another one at the same time, and this made some kind of conflict. From here it comes that the African Union and African countries, they decided to have a one free trade area, so that to activate trade and investment. And we have to mention that the African continent is having the most important challenges nowadays, because they suffer from unemployment. They don't have. They are relying mainly in importation, food and machines, and manufactured goods on Western economies and other countries. And from here it comes that industrialization may be a very important goal for them to activate their national resources from one perspective, from another to increase the local content and enlarge opportunities of job for the majority of youth and women specifically, since the continent is suffering from high rate of unemployment. From here it comes the importance of such meeting. Free trade is very important. COMESA is doing well, but we need to enhance potentialities of investment, intra-investment, enhance potentialities of intra-trade, and discussing the challenges that may prevent achieving such goals from one perspective. From another, how the COMESA is going to be integrated softly and gently into the free trade area of the African continent.
Yes. Dr. Youmn, you just mentioned the trade and the investment projects in Africa. Would you please tell us more about the role of COMESA in the exchange between the trade exchange between the member states?
Actually, you know that any free trade area, the most important reason behind free trade area, and we have free trade areas all around the world, to eliminate barriers of trade, to eliminate tariffs amongst the countries involved in free trade area, and this may enable them to export and import, and according to that, and we have to mention the proximity among the COMESA and the African continent. Proximity needs to enhance infrastructure and communication and transportation methods. And this is what's happening, during the presidency of Egypt with the African Union. We had done here in Egypt several strategies in order to address all the requirements for the African continent to be activated and to use resources efficiently. And I believe that we have the two visions, one 2030 and one 2063. And according to these visions, this infrastructure should be enhanced so that to allow for intra-trade.
Yes,
but
of
intra-trade is important.
Dr. Youmn Hamaki, the professor of economics in Ain Shams University, thank you very much for joining us today on Nile TV International. Ladies and gentlemen, short break, we'll be back.